Okay, hello. Who's here with me? Oh, might just be me. Okay, now I can see you coming in. Hi, Deborah. Hi, Marianne. Hi, Liz. Hi. Oh, let me get this little box over here. How is everyone? While we're waiting for everyone to come in, hi, Deborah. As we're waiting for everyone to come in, I'm not sure how many people are jumping on the call live today, but for those of us who are on live, I really want to hear from you. What do I want to hear from you? I want to know how you are. But I really want this to be intentional. I really want us to be very intentional and placing a container around these guidance gateways that you really are just starting to access and to activate. So you'll all be at various points with this. So I want you to jump into the comments for me and let me know. I want to know two things. I want to know how you're feeling with the gateways, whether you've accessed them or activated them. And I also want to know, I don't know, it's not so much that I want to know it, I want you to give voice to what it is that's coming up for you in the greater aspect of your life right now. What we would typically call the block, the challenge, the struggle, the stuff of life. So I want you to have a little feel into what that is. So I can see that there's still some more people coming on in. Hi, guys. So I'll just repeat that for those of you who've just come in. Today we're going to be working with the guidance gateways. I've got an idea of a process that I want to take you through, but before we get started, I'm really keen to hear from each of you about your experience with the gateways. So very intentionally, the two things that I'd like to know. One, and there's no right or wrong, whether you feel like you've been able to access or to activate these gateways, that you've been able to connect with them in some way. Don't worry about whether it's right or not. And the second thing I want you to really be intentional about is what is going on in your world right now that we would typically call or label the challenge, the block, the frustration, the irritation. And I actually want you to drop this into the chat box for me so that we're going to start bringing all of this together. So while you're doing that, I'm going to just talk a little bit about these guidance gateways. So it gives you a little bit of time to drop those comments into the chat box for me. And I just want to sort of ad lib, roll with a little bit of discussion about these gateways. The materials for this module have been designed to not really tell you much about these gateways yet. And I've done that because, well, I was guided to. It was also the way that I've come to experience the gateways. Many years ago, I first came across a couple of them. I remember the first one that I came across, and I accessed it. It felt weird. It kind of spun me out, and it took me quite some time to start coming back to them. And at the time, I didn't know what it was anyway. So these guidance gateways, I'm sure you've heard me say, are very different from the chakras. And in fact, there are a number of different energy centers, gateways, meridians. There's a whole bunch of different centers or points in our body that these gateways are one of. And the way that I have worked with them, the way that I've perceived them, is that and the reason that I call them gateways is that they are these points that we, as we're starting to bring our soul frequency, the desire, the essence, whatever this subtle thread of soul that's making its way to us, as we're bringing that down and into this physical, earthly, human form and reality, we come up to a gateway. And if you think about any other doorway, any other gateway in physical, I'm looking at a door right now, I've just closed it. There's a frontier. And so we come up to this gateway, and there's actually a number of gatekeepers that we come up to meet. And to say this in a different way, we come face to face with the aspects of our human self, our soul self, aspects from our soul timeline. There's a whole gamut of, the gatekeepers that we come up against. Now, there's quite a number of gatekeepers. At this stage, I'm not even interested in who or what. I don't necessarily need you to know about these individual gatekeepers, just that there will be something standing at the gate wanting you. It's like, I never used to play computer games as a kid, but what I'm seeing is a computer game where it's like you would meet the person at the doorway into the next level, and you had to pass the quiz before you'd get through the gate. It's that kind of feeling. And actually what it is a very new way of clearing, healing, and restoring, and really integrating, so that we're actually bringing this frequency into our being, and it comes up against all of the aspects of ourselves that aren't in vibrational match. And it actually requires us to integrate, to change, to transform in that gateway, so that this thread or frequency can actually be lowered down and actually anchored into, planted into the earth. And so really, as I've said, you've just been reaching for it or accessing it or starting to get a feel of what these gateways are all about. So with that in mind, I'll come back. I can see there's a couple more that have jumped onto the call. So welcome. For those of you who are getting this as the recording, I want you to do this too, just to pop it in your journal. But I've asked, what is it that you've been able to access or reach for? What activation has started to happen in these gateways? And I also want you to be thinking about what is the big stuff that's coming up in your life right now, what we would ordinarily call a challenge, a block, a frustration, a situation where we're feeling that kind of grit and stuff. So let's have a look over. Wow, there's a lot here. Liz says that she's only had space to do the tree meditation. Perfect, fine. I think that this is a theme coming up for a lot of us. It's a very busy time of year. And also why I've given us a lot of time for this module. We've had a whole month to work through it. And so Liz says the greater theme or block is creativity and work, allowing it to come through and not getting in the way. Awesome. Deborah says that she's accessed and activate the gateways. But you're sick. That's no good, Deborah. Clearing stuck energy. It's all about your second chakra at the moment. Okay. Which is also the theme for the energy forecast that I sent out this week too. Deborah, I actually have a feeling that, remember very, very early on, and I think it's you, Deborah, we were talking about the 13, you were given 13 statements. So I actually think you're well and truly into your gateways. And I think you'll start to move through this in a very unique and personal way. So keep me posted on how this goes for you. Kate says that she's not entirely sure if she's accessing the gateways. No problem. And you're not really sure which one you should be focusing on. I thought maybe the womb gateway, but I'm currently working with my base and sacral chakras. I feel like I'm struggling to feel the difference, and that's okay. the gateways feel very different from the chakras. And someone asked this question maybe in the Facebook Live I did a couple of weeks ago. When we connect in with the chakras, typically, you know, we're experiencing a swirling sensation. We might have the colors. It feels, even as I'm talking about it, it's like we can kind of feel the energy there. When I connect with the gateways, it's very different. It's more like it is literally a portal into other dimensions. And so where we feel the gateway is more of a space. It's almost like, one way that you might want to think about it is like the actual dropping in of your sacred space into this plane. And so it's not so much about energy swirling in this space, but you're actually starting to move through different dimensions and through different, it's just different dimensions. And so without going into all of that sort of theory and understanding, just know it will feel different. It's also been something I've been observing, both for myself and as I've started to teach this with people, is that when we're working on a particular gateway, we can be sent back into the chakras. So to your point, Kate, if you are being drawn back into, I think you said the base and sacral chakras, that needs to be worked through in order for this gateway to really open, or for this dimension to start to open up to you. And you'll remember me saying that we move through the human self actually needs to prepare the physical, mental, emotional, spiritual work, and the spiritual, our energetic body has to reach a point so that these gateways can be accessed. So if you start to reach for the gateways and actually you feel like you're going back, it's not backwards. The human mind sees it that way. But if you're going back to the chakras, just know that that energy needs to be moving in a different way so that this actual gateway, the dimension, the portal becomes possible for you to stand in. So what you're actually creating with these guidance gateways are new energetic dimensions within your body. And so, you know, if you're actually very, very new to this, and most of you aren't like super new to these ideas, but certainly accessing different dimensions and portals within your body may be new, go at your own pace, okay? So Kate, that's perfectly fine. And in fact, Kate, you and I have spoken about this too, that I accessed a certain number of the gateways and got thrown back into working through my chakras, and then more of the gateways. So I'm only teaching you 5. And at 6 months ago, I thought there were 12 of them, and I've actually started channeling a lot more of them. And so let's just go with these 5 that I'm suggesting to you. You'll move through them, and then the human self, your energetic self, has to catch up. So it's like we're constantly trying to bring all of these forces in our body into alignment. Kristen says, I'm not sure I should be listening since I haven't started the module. You are most welcome to be listening. And I think you will still, hopefully, I believe that there's a transmission that I give. It will reach you where you are. And you can always cycle back when the mental body is ready to process this. But you are most welcome here. And of course, if you've got questions as we're moving through, please feel like you can ask them, even if you haven't read the module. That's okay. Kate J, healing of heart, releasing grief. Yeah, shadow self-integration, unprocessed trauma or hurts. So often, and this is why I want us to be thinking about what is coming up in our world, because often this is what happens. We move through shadow. We also move through the balance of masculine and feminine. And indeed, I've already touched on, we will be asked to go over and to revisit some of the things that we thought we'd already done. The clearing and healing of chakras, revisiting something in relationship, So that will most certainly come up. The difference here is that we're starting to move into soul. So a lot of what we do in the chakra is really our spiritual awakening, our energetic awakening, and we're actually moving now into a soul awakening and into a process of soul level healing. And it is quite different from human level, energetic level. And it simply means that we may have to, myself included, we may have to go back to something that, well, in my case, I might have glossed over, or I hadn't completely completed or healed or done, or that even as I'm saying this, Spirit's coming in and, or like counsel is saying, or that it just needed you to reach this point for that last thread over here to make sense. So we've actually been exactly where we need to be. Okay. Renee says that it's hard to type what you wanted us, as I don't want to miss out on what you're saying. This is also why I ask you to put it in the Facebook group for me, because it makes this part of the call much easier, because the intention has already been set. Just know that you'll get what you need today and you can listen to the replay later. Felicity says that she's sensed the gateways but haven't been able to go very deep with them. Absolutely fine, because that's all I had asked you to do. So it's great that you're accessing them or sensing them. I feel like there might be a bit of resistance, or perhaps it's just that there's a lot of stuff going on in my life. The gateways are a very new concept for me. I think they're actually a very new concept for all of us. And the fact that there's a lot of stuff going on in life, I'm going to talk about this in a moment. There's a very real reason why I've asked you to identify these two things. Michelle says that the gateways have started changing slightly, that they first felt like a specific point, and now they've opened slightly, and the image is more like a wormhole. Yeah. So sometimes I do see them like a vortex. Sometimes I just see them as this vast open space, and I'm sort of waiting for someone. And this leads me into what we're going to be doing today. It's like I arrive there and it's like, I don't know why I'm here. I don't know who's going to arrive to meet me here. I don't know what I'm meant to do here. And there's sometimes a waiting game. But yes, Michelle, I do think that you're sensing the gateways. So Kate says that she's had experience with the Earth Gateway, not to be confused with the Earth Star chakra. These are different. Okay, Kate, yes, you're leaving your job and needing to go into your own business. Hi, Marianne. So you've also been able to reach for the gateways. This is good. It's okay that you're not spending a lot of time on this, guys. I understand. And I also feel like it's important. What I'm hearing is that there's a really interesting meeting point here where, yes, life is busy and we need to take responsibility for what we set out to do and to create the time for this. But there's also another element here where you will be guided to come into these gateways in the way that's right for you. And actually, if we just went hell for leather into these gateways, you know, this is high energy, high frequency, multi-dimensional space. You cannot let ego rush this. You cannot let your human self want you to be like keeping up and I don't want the 5, I want all of them, because it will just blow your circuits. We want to do this in a way that is right for you. So trust this process, okay? Marianne says that the initial meditation was easy, more easily than other things so far. That's great. And you've also got significant work in the chakras. Perfect. Just go back there and trust that process. And you're also feeling this accelerator and clutch point. Hi, Sarah. Oh, I'm glad you've made it. Heart gateway. Awareness and sensation around the others, but feel less accessible. Unprocessed grief. This is interesting. A couple of you have sort of mentioned this. That may feed into what I do today. Leaps of faith, another big theme. Lack of clarity around career. There's a lot of career stuff. That is you, Deborah. Great. Okay. Oh, I've got so many comments. I'm almost through them all. Renee, you have connected at a certain point. Still not recalling your meditations. That is okay. And you slept. Okay. But a few days later, you ended with integration under your feet. Perfect. Okay. Human self, frazzled, unorganized, stuck in a rut. May I say to you, that was my entire 2017. 2018, I'm feeling a little more organized. And so it's interesting. I'm not sure yet. I'm trying to chart whether there's a particular process that we move through. But certainly there's a sense of chaos. There's a sense of, as we bring this energy in, you know, I've said we let go of all the stuff that's not in alignment anymore. And certainly for me, last year as a mother, you know, with my firstborn going into school, I was completely disorganized and unprepared for that. So the frazzled, stuck in a rut, all of that old stuff will be coming out and you'll recognize it. So that's actually a good thing. Yeah, come on into the Facebook group to chat more if you'd like to. Okay, not motivated, couldn't connect. Okay, just trust where you are is the overall theme here. Okay. Overwhelmed, distracted, called to pause, Michelle says. This is all very good, guys. Oh, hi, Colette. Tree meditation, don't worry, that's okay. There's a vacant space for you, that's fine. Top of your head pushing down. I've actually got a lot going on in my in the top of my head right now too, although mine's coming up rather than down. But Colette wasn't able to tap into it. All right, so there's lots and lots of stuff going on. So thank you for identifying this. I'm going to move you into a process in a moment, and I want you to hold what you've just shared with me, this intention for us to explore the stuckness, okay? The sensations, the experience of the human self, whatever that is. And we're actually going to use the gateways as a way of understanding what is happening in our human life. So it may even help you understand, you know, the human mind, be like, oh, I haven't spent any time with these meditations. I know some of you are frustrated that you fall asleep in them. It's okay. And actually you may start to understand that more today or in the coming days. But we're certainly going to start getting a sense of what is coming in, what it is bringing up for us, and how to let it move through into this, you know, physical 3D reality that we're in. So before we do this, I just want to sit. Is there anything else? Are there any questions about the gateways that you want to ask at this point? Is there anything I need to share with you about the gateways? No, but as I've asked that question, I'm not sure if I'm calling it the expression or the transmission gateway. At this stage, I'm calling it both. There's a lot happening in here, and I'm being told just to transmit. So that's what I'm going to do. All right, let's move into the meditation part of this. So I want you to take a couple of moments just to bring yourself into your situation. So I automatically close my eyes. So close your eyes down. Take a couple of deep breaths here. I want you to fill your belly and then fill your chest. And when you exhale, exhale from the chest and then exhale from your belly. And just do this cycle a couple of times. And the fact I'm sitting here with my eyes closed, I might just turn my video off. So just take a couple of deep breaths here. And as you're taking these deep breaths, you're starting to really tune into your body. And I want you to start feeling yourself relax into the support beneath you. So the chair or the bed or wherever it is that you're sitting or lying. Sitting is probably better. But just feel yourself really being held by this support. So really letting it take your weight. And actually just feel yourself starting to connect with that support, melt into that support. And really just let yourself arrive in this moment. And remember, we've come into this moment having spoken about what's happening in your day-to-day life. So I want you to hold the intention that you're going to explore your current situation from the level of your soul through the gateway most relevant to this experience. So just allow that intention to wash over you. You might need to take another couple of deep breaths and just allow yourself to sink into the supports again. So as soon as I set that intention, I can feel the desire to run. So just keep bringing back, keep anchoring into this present moment, into the seat. And you may even want to really focus your energy on, it might be your bottom, your seat bones. It may be where your back connects with the chair or the support behind you. It might be floor. You might even need to put your hands on the floor or something stable as well. It's like we're really grounding in this energy, really grounding into the present reality of our lives. And so I ask you to really feel this, to be present to all of the sensations. As I start to do this, I actually feel quite nauseous. Just notice what comes up for you. And so there may be a level of discomfort here. At any stage, you can use the chat box to flag with me anything you need to. If you need some additional support, if you need to voice something, please do that. I'm going to be keeping an eye on that chat box as we go. And the reason I say this is I'm actually asking you to sit in the discomfort. And that, naturally we may not want to do that. So please know that you are safe here and you are supported here. You only need to reach out to me to let me know. So I want you to really feel into the sensation of your current reality. And notice the sensations in your body. So you might be scanning your body now, staying very, very anchored, but scanning your body for what's present. Any tension, tightness, discomfort, irritation. You too might have a sense of nausea, a sense that you want to run. Might be a sense of the need to fight, the threat. Just notice what this is. And I want you to pay attention to where it is in your body. Now, you might also be aware that you have multiple things going on at once. If that is the case for you, I want you to scan for the sensation or the feeling that is most charged. So that may be the one that is most uncomfortable, the one that's drawing your attention the most. And I want you to give yourself permission to go into that space, remembering that we've set the intention to be viewing this through the lens of a gateway. So just notice if these sensations are also naturally in an area where you know one of these gateways are. And I want you to use your breath to really bring your awareness into this space. And I'm going to ask you to take the observer seat. So I want you to step into the observer role and observe what is here. So it may simply be the sensations. For some of you, it may be visions or insights. And know that it might come to you in a number of different ways throughout this call today. Then I want you to take a deep breath and call your soul into this space with you. Just notice as the energy of your soul starts to come into this space. You might already get a sense of things shifting and changing as the soul's energy arrives. Just keep breathing, allowing this to unfold, because your soul is ultimately the one guiding your experience today. I am simply a facilitator. So if at any stage your soul starts to veer you in a different direction, just follow your soul. I want you to really observe your soul in this space. Observe her presence, her energy. You notice how she's appearing to you in this moment. It may be visually. It may be a sense. I just want you to welcome her in. We're going to start a dialogue with soul in this meeting point, in this particular gateway that you have come into with these particular discomforts and situations that you're holding in this space. And I want you to, well, really, you can take this conversation with your soul however you would like. If you want to follow with my prompts, I want you to inquire why your soul has chosen this current experience in your life. To your soul, why is this experience needed, important? How does your soul view what's currently unfolding right now? Just take a few moments here. What is it that your soul really wants you to know? It may even be that you want to ask your soul how soul views this differently from your human self. So just trust that more information will continue to settle for you far beyond this present moment. We're going to start changing tack in our dialogue here. We want to ask soul, what does this have to do with this particular gateway, this particular location in your body? Why have you been brought into this particular gateway? What is the theme, the meaning, the healing here? Why is it relevant to this particular space in your body? Why is this gateway important at this time in your soul journey? And then we want to start asking soul, what's needed here? what might need to be cleared or healed or restored, or possibly even manifested or start to bring into form in relation to this particular gateway and this particular life situation that you're exploring. What is it that soul is actually really requiring here? You may even begin to start inquiring into, is this clearing or healing, restoring or manifesting something that needs to happen at the human level? Is this something to do with your energetics? So for example, the chakras or your energy system? Is this something that actually does need to occur in the gateway itself? Is this something that needs to happen at the soul level? Is this something from your soul timeline? Is this a past life issue? You don't need to necessarily understand any of it, really. But just allow soul to start bringing some impressions to you here. And so this may also be your opportunity to understand what soul is actually really asking you to do. And more importantly, who is your soul asking you to be here? And so from the level of your soul, how does your soul want you to transform this situation? What is the frequency, the essence, the desire? What is the actual unique expression, frequency, vibration from soul that needs to infiltrate this space, that needs to flood this gateway, and therefore to start flooding out into your waking life, the human experience? What is this unique thread from soul that needs to be integrated, realized? If we say this in a different way, what is the expression of your soul, the frequency of your soul that is ready to start moving through you and your life? What is it that soul wants to bring into form here? We can say this a different way. How can you come into alignment so that it is soul that is coming down and into your human experience and transforming this situation? So I just want you to start getting a sense of what this frequency is. So you may just feel it as an energy. You may feel it as a word. You might know, for example, that this is about confidence, or that this is about the greater soul desire that you've been working with. This may be about unleashing. It may be about transmitting. It may actually be about letting go of, clearing, and walking away from something that your soul is no longer interested in. So just allow this frequency to come in. And just by holding the intention to do so, I want you to start allowing soul to flood this space, this particular portal, space, location, the gateway you are in with this frequency. So all you need to do is just let her do her thing. You may even notice as it starts to fill this particular space and location that it naturally starts to flood through your body. It may start to flood through these other gateways. It may start to transmit, radiate, pour through your physical body. You may even feel it in your chakras. And if that's where you are, that's okay. Go into the chakras and actually feel it moving through your chakras. And just notice what it feels like as you start to really feel and flood your physical dimension with the essence of your soul trying to make its way into your being and into your life right now. And as it's moving through your body, allow it to really come down into the earth. So you don't want to just hold it in your body. You want to allow it to come through you and into the earth. And it has just started really raining here, so I apologize if there's some residual noise in the background. I will take this as a great cleansing for all of us. So just let this new knowledge, this new frequency, this new energy move through your body. It's actually creating a vortex and actually pulling down further and further and further through your body. I want you to really feel it anchor as far down in your body or into the earth as you can possibly go. It's like you've reached up into the heavens, you've created this thread. This particular frequency has come down and it's moving through your body. So you may be in one particular gateway, which may have been flooded. You may be able to take the entire flood down through your body, or maybe just a particular thread. And I want you to take it down as far as you can go, ultimately wanting to bring it down into the earth gateway. You are anchoring in this new frequency. And you're actually starting to anchor this frequency through the gateways into your current experience, into the earthly plane, so that this soul essence, the soul desire, the soul frequency, this aspect or element of your soul that wants to be moving through your body, that wants to be emanating through your system and out into the earthly plane through you is starting to take hold here. This is no small feat. So just trust that this is going to anchor and to process throughout maybe the days or weeks to come. I want you to keep coming back into this sensation. And for now, I want you to really get a sense of how does this fit with the greater soul desire that you've been working with? How does this connect with the greater sense of your soul's call, this desire that has been sitting with you for some time? Is it one and the same? Is this a particular thread that has to be anchored first? Knowing that we have these threads that come in, it's like an entire tapestry that starts to be woven through our bodies. And it starts with a thread or a few threads that have to be tied down and anchored first before the entire tapestry starts to take shape and form. And so now I want you to take a deep breath and just come back to the original situation, the challenge or the event that's been occurring in your life. And I want you to feel this soul expression, this soul, the thread of your soul that's weaving through you. And actually start to notice what happens as you start to radiate this particular frequency, you start to radiate this particular theme or expression. And notice what happens as it starts to infiltrate or move into this particular life circumstance or situation. How might it change and transform? How might this situation be viewed differently from the level of your soul? And so this is your opportunity to really just feel into and review, remind yourself of the guidance your soul brought through. Remembering we asked, we were asking your soul why your soul has chosen this particular circumstance, what your soul really wanted you to experience here. And that actually when we allow the discomfort, when we allow the challenge, the block, the experience to be understood from the soul level, it tends to shift and transform. You may have also had some guidance about maybe who you need to be, what this situation or the circumstance is actually asking you to step into. And this is really a hint. We're going to be working with this a lot more in the coming weeks and months. This is really a hint about this new soul self that wants to be born through you. And these circumstances and situations and relationships are actually presented to remind you of who you are at the soul level. They're prompting you to rise up and to bring down so that you can emanate and transmit and express this very essence and expression of your soul. And as we're doing that, we come up against all of the stuff in each of these gateways. You can invite your soul to move through any other sensations that were present in your body. If you had multiple locations in your body, you can repeat this process in your own time, or simply invite soul into that space, knowing that your soul's energy is going to start shifting and transforming in her own way. There's actually nothing for you to do here, but allow this process to take place. And so take a couple of deep breaths here. And just start to bring your awareness back into your physical body, back into your fingers, your toes. You might want to cycle through another couple of the breathing, like feeling your belly, feeling your chest. I'm going to pop my video back on, and when you're ready, just come on back to me. Now there's some really big energies swirling. So in truth, I don't want to dissect this too much at a mental level. I'm also still feeling rather nauseous myself. And so there's a little grounding. Actually, can I have a show of hands, or just like a little yes in the chat box? Is anyone else feeling the nausea or the not quite grounded feeling? Because if so, I'll take us through. I can see. Okay, thank you. We might, Deborah's okay, good. Liz is feeling it. I thought I would vomit from Renee. Okay, so there is a few of us. So let's just do this together. Deborah, if you're feeling good, I was just going to say, if anyone is feeling good, I don't actually want to dissect what happened, but we can certainly have a discussion over in the Facebook group over the coming days. So for anyone who does want to exit the call now, you are most welcome, and we'll pick up the conversation in the Facebook group. For those of you who are feeling still a little ungrounded, I'll just take us through a little process now, and then we'll end the call. So if anyone's leaving, thank you. And so for those of us who are still here, let's just place our awareness. Actually, I'm going to ask you to place your awareness on the earth gateway, and just hold the intention that this thread or frequency has really anchored in. And so, you know, the vision that I've got, it's like tying on a string. So if you want to visualize it, you can. If you actually want to see it coming in as the roots of your tree, you can work with that. You can just hold the intention here. Oh, it's very warm. Okay, and then I also want us to ground our human energy, so our actual energy center. So I also want you to come down, just run the energy down and connect into the center of the earth, and I want you to feel the earth's energy moving up. So we have done this before, so just feel earth's energy moving up into your body. Holding the intention that you're sitting in and cocooned in this sort of basin or bowl in the center of the earth. Feel yourself. This is really starting to be the roots. I want you to really feel your roots coming down into the center of the earth, into the source of all abundance, where you're fueled and nourished, your thirst is quenched. And just allow that to start moving back up your body. And just ask here if there is anything physically you need to do to ground yourself. So I actually need to go and eat. But it might be something different for you. Just check in. What does my body need, my physical body need, in order to allow this energy to anchor? Okay. And simply ask your soul to help you complete this process. And it may just take a few more minutes to complete. So I want you just to take your time, take a deep breath when you are ready. I'm actually going to sign off. So if you're still sitting in this and just connecting, please do. As I've said, we'll come over into the Facebook group over the coming hours and days to check in and do what you need to do to start grounding this energy. I'm going to head off and have something to eat. Okay, I'll talk to you all very soon in the Facebook group. Big love. Bye now. Ah, I can't do that yet. Okay, now I can. Bye, everyone.